All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful Thursday morning. God bless everybody in Jesus' name, in the name of Yeshua the Messiah. I do pray you and your family are super blessed, as in about 12 minutes, we are going to get some news. The CPI, inflation. We're going to find out how inflation's doing. Is it good or is it bad? Now, here's the thing. Yesterday, we did have some news. The PPI, the Producer Price Index, which was forecast to be 0.3%, but it had slowed down to a rate of 0.01%. Wow, that's amazing. Much bullishness. And we did see the markets react a little bit. I mean, yesterday we got a big old pumperoni and queso, and by a big old pumperoni and queso, I really mean, well, we just started to kind of form a little sideways range here, but for the sake of YouTube sensationalism, we got a massive pump. All right, and we are clearly holding above our key zone of 113.5. This box we had right here, super key. I mean, holding above this box is the secret to success in a bull run. All right, now we have just in about, 11 minutes, the CPI. And again, if this is lower than predicted, or forecasted, I should say, then we can expect to see more bullishness in the market leading up into next Wednesday's FOMC interest rate decision, where we're going to see if they cut rates by 25 basis points or potentially more. Now, right now, Market Watch, Fed Watch, CME Group Watch is baking into the cake. 91% consider the 25 basis point cut as sure as done. 8% consider a 50 basis point cut as sure as done. But today, I really think this is going to be a telling thing, because really the reason why they would not raise interest rates, the reason why they would not cut interest rates or pause interest rates is because inflation is too high, right? Inflation is too high. Now, let's see here. Just got to get back to the... Okay, so we got about 10 minutes. As you can see, guys, we are still long on Bitcoin from $107,000 from the trade that was given in the Casper Crew VIP Discord at JasonCasperTrading.com. Click the link to join. Also, we're trading on KCEX, BLOFIN, and WEEX. Make sure to sign up. If you sign up for KCEX using my link, you get the 0% fees ever. If you sign up to BLOFIN, you get awesome giveaways, prizes every single week. If you sign up to WEEX, you get super low fees. It's a great deal. Make sure to check it out. And if you have no money but you know how to trade, check out Klein Funding Crypto Prop Firm, link in the description, where you can get 15 and 25% discounts on these funded accounts. Or if you have no money, you can get a $200,000 account for $500. And of course, there's a 25% discount on that. So it's a pretty good deal, man. A pretty dang good deal. As we are consolidating just under the Fibonacci Golden Pocket, we got to give a major shout out to everybody in the chat. Major shout out to On One John. Shout out to Keith. Shout out to Randy Greer. Everyone talks about M2 money supply, and you should be focusing on the M1 money supply. What is the expected CPI? The expected CPI is 0.3%. You love KCEX? Me too, honestly. It's such a good exchange. It has those MEXC vibes. All right, shout out to Crazy Waffle 5150 and Cyrus Grayson. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to Alec, Louisiana. Need this joyous man named Jason. Bless you, my boy. Bless you, Alec, Louisiana. Shout out to A Crypto and Politics. Thoughts on a cross protocol. Honestly, I haven't heard about it. Okay, I haven't heard about it. Shout out to Note JN. Shout out to Digital Saints of the Soundwave Underground. Shout out to Sigma Crypto. God bless you, man. Shout out to Troy Babies Jr. He says, Levia, you make no sense, loser. Well, shout out to Levia and shout out to Troy talking trash to Levia. And shout out to BL8 who says good morning. And Stephanie Mallow who says click the like button guitar. Or Stephane, not Stephanie, Stephane. Shout out to Cyrus Grayson in the chat. And my man Kookie Sunny D. God bless you, Kookie. And shout out to Leviathan, the one who's being called an idiot in the chat. Look, I haven't been reading your guys' chats, but Leviathan, you know, and you other people, I hope you guys can all get along, give each other a big old group hug in the chat. All right, group hug, guys. 900 of us. Let's all come in for the group hug, guys. Let's all come in for the group hug. Shout out to Quiles 1100 and the BBL doctor. Are you really a BBL doctor? Is that true? Is that what you specialize in? BBLs? You know how to slice open the cheeks and insert something foreign to result in a look that looks very unnatural, almost like not human? Is that what you do? Man, that's cool. Do you get good money for that? Let me know. All right. Maybe you could hook me up with a real life model for my uneven butt cheek pattern. Let's see. Who else we got in the chat? The Enigmitis. Liked and loaded. All right, we got about 7 minutes left, baby. 7 minutes left. 7 minutes left. CPI in 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah. So let's check it out here because we're going to be watching for a big pump. And before we actually take a look at the CPI, we do need to look at the order flow right here. All right, let's take a look at the order flow. Let's see what's happened overnight during Asia, during London. This is Market Monkey, by the way, my new order flow platform. Wow. You know what's happened here is looks like a short squeeze. Looks like we had some shorts get squeezed here. Really, that's about it. We don't see an increase of open interest. Let's go to the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, just a big decrease of open interest here. This is really nothing too crazy. Decrease of open interest and a little bit of bullish CVD. Decrease of open interest and a little bit of bullish CVD. I have to say, overall, this does look nice for more upside. Let's check out Market Cipher B here. We are starting to see some bearish divergences form. We're 6 minutes away from the news. We are starting to see some bearish divergences form here. Yeah, this is a 24-minute. We're starting to see money flow come out a little bit here. All right, let's go to the 1 hour. You know, it's ambiguous. It looks like we can get another big push up here, honestly. The one thing that's really catching my eye, guys, is the 4-day time frame. The 4-day is printing. Here, let's get to it. Let's get to a different chart here. The 4-day. Hang on, what the heck? I have two of the same chart. Hang on. Let's go back to our 6 minute here. Let's zoom in. This is my secret chart that only I should know about. That's the secret chart that gives me all the secret levels. All right, let's go to the 4-day here. We are, in fact, printing. What is this? Oh, this old analysis here from the other day. All right. The 4-day on Bitcoin. We are printing the hidden bullish div right here. I do believe that this signal right here on the 4-day could have the power to shoot us up to a new all-time high. And the one thing I really want to pay attention to right now, guys, let's clear everything off except for the value area. All right. One thing I really want to focus on right now is this value area. We have officially closed the daily candle above it. What does that mean? It means probabilities are highest. We got to move up to 118 and then 125. Well, 120,500. 120,500. Look at this nice daily close above the level. It's nice. It's nice. We're finally starting to see some bullish market structure here as we are 4 minutes away from the most important news of our lives. All right. Again, what happens today is going to change that proverbial conversation that we think and we imagine and we fantasize about having every Thanksgiving, where we get to sit down and when they ask us what we're thankful for, we get to say that our bag's pumped up so high we can now officially retire. And I was right and you guys were all wrong for not getting into crypto. You should have listened to me. Now I'm rich and you're not. Ha! Or maybe we're going to have that conversation with our family about how, you know, we put everything we had into crypto. We thought it was good and we got wrecked by the market, you know. Total scam. Now we don't know what to do. So this news in 2 minutes and 57 seconds is really going to dictate to us the script for that conversation on Thanksgiving, which is going to be happening now in about 2 months or so, in a few weeks. All right, for all us Americans. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's see. We got very quick, very soon news. Let's check out Market Monkey. What do we got? Yeah, look at that. I mean, you know, obviously we have a local swing failure pattern right here, and we all know of the resistance that's just above us, right? We do have a resistance that's literally just above us, is this Fibonacci golden pocket right here. This is the only thing standing in our way from retiring into a Thanksgiving dinner. All right, we retire into a large pile of mashed potatoes with gravy and a turkey that's been injected with who knows what to make it fatter and juicier and more tender and plumper than a wild turkey that you would catch out in the wild, if you know what I'm saying. All right, here we go, baby. 2 minutes, 20-second delay. Win CPI report very soon. Shout out to Clown World Crypto. Shout out to Flukes Ratatasart. ETH to 5,000. I agree with you, Rooks Ratatasart. I think we can get a big pump. All right, here we go, man. You have a long open at the top since yesterday. Good. I'm glad it worked out for you, honestly. You know, I was speaking against it because I can't long the top, but I'm glad it worked out for you. Will you tell CPI report here? Yeah. Yeah, we're waiting for it. Cyrus is a wild turkey. Shout out to Casual, my man in the chat. What's good, bro? It's been a while, man. All right, here we go. Here we go, baby. Here we go. Oh, man, I got 1 minute left. You guys feeling that? That's called adrenaline. Whew. Man, it is. It is. Here we go. All right. Oh, wow. What's going on? You look great. We got ourselves 45, 44, 43 seconds left. And we are going to be watching the move here. Let's see what happens. We're either going to pump or we're going to dump. Something is going to happen. Man. Let's see what happens here. Come on. 30 seconds. Make sure to smash the like, guys. Make sure to smash the like. Make sure to smash the like. And then we're going to take a look. We're going to take a look at altcoins as well. After we see what happens with the Bitcoin and the stock market. All right, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Oh man, it looks like we got some. Look at that blue candle pumping, baby. Let's see. Pending. Oh. I hate when. Okay, 2.9, 2.9, 0.3. Okay, as expected. Yeah, it's as expected, guys. Ooh! Higher than expected. Ooh! Oh! Higher than expected. Man, that is not the news we wanted to hear, man. That is not the news we want. Look at that big dirty perp coming in. Big daddy perp coming in. Trying to give you the herp. Oh my goodness, that literally is wild, guys. Look at that big daddy perp coming on in. Oh my goodness, let's check out what happened on the order flow chart real quick. Did we see shorts coming in? No real shorts coming in here, guys. A decrease of open interest. Let's check out the net longs and net shorts. All right, net shorts. Not really too many shorts coming in. This is going to be pretty intense. Let's check it out. Let's go back to our 1 minute time frame here. Oh my goodness. This is nuts, guys. This is wild. Okay, this is wild. Can you believe that on the news? Bearish. Inflation is getting higher. Okay? Big dirty perp to the downside. We're trying to get a reclaim. Let's see what happens here, and let's pop on over to good old MCB. We'll take a look at the reaction. Oh, Bitcoin starting to pump once again. Big juicy blue coming on through. Whoa! Big juicy blue coming on through. Oh man. All right, let's see. Let's go back to trading view on big juicy blue. Let's go to the 1 hourly. We will take a look here. And we're actually just gonna go ahead and pull the fib from the high to the low. Man, would you look at that, guys? That is wild. All right, so Bitcoin getting some volatility. Let's check out the stock market. Let's see what the stock market done did here on the 2 minute. Wow. Look at that 2 minute candlestick, guys. Boom. Fram. Foom flam. The old foom flam. Let's check out the dollar. Oh, man, even the dollar dumps on that. Let's check out NQ. Man, look at that wick. That is wild. That is absolutely wild. All right, let's check out Bitcoin once again. Coming back down with the big dirty perp. Let's check out Ethereum. Let's check out Ethereum. Oof, ETH also taking a massive dump. Oh my goodness, look at that candle. This is the 2-minute chart, guys. In 2 minutes, we saw literally a 3% dump to the downside on ETH. Let's check out Solana. Oh my goodness, look at this. High inflation causing, 2.79 move to the downside. Now, let's see the real consequences of our actions now, which is, the CME market watch. It's still the same. Everyone's still expecting the same. Whew, man, this is wild, guys. This is wild. All right, let's check out the futures market for Bitcoin. Oh my goodness, can you believe that wick? That is nuts. Bitcoin dropping in the matter of 2 minutes, 1%. That's quite a bit. That is quite a bit. Okay, so let's regroup here. Let's see what we got going on. Let's put on market cipher B. So yeah, I would say this, guys. I would say this. Man, that pre-news CDW coming in pretty good. I'd say we have ourselves a sideways range to be trading right here. And if we're going to come down lower, I'd be looking for maybe a little bit of a bounce from here to either make a lower high, or make a higher high. But this area coming back down to around 113-ish, that could be a place for a local scalp. And if we do start to see a bounce right now and we make a higher high, we've got our golden pocket right above us. So these two circle areas are the two trade zones, in my opinion, right now after this volatile news. And also, if we pull our fib, if we come back down to if we come to the low, we have to be aware of potentially having some. Wow, would you look at this volume profile? Is this real? This is a very strange volume profile, guys. The point of control and the value area high are the same. We had so many people opening up trades in this little zone here. It's pretty wild, actually. It is pretty wild. Whew. Man, that is called volatility, baby. Yeah, Thanksgiving, we're going to have to talk to our parents about that. Why would you long 150x on a news event? Well, look, sometimes, Pegless, you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And, what I mean by that is this. If you're risking very little and it's a 50% shot, if he had shorted it, he would have made money, right? If he's risking very little, he would have made money. Okay, so here's the good news, all right? We've got good news and bad news. We're going to start with the good news. The good news is this, all right? We are holding the key level, support resistance flip here. You can see this white line, more specifically, this green line here. This was key resistance yesterday, right? This was key resistance yesterday, and it got flipped into support. All right, so we're still holding that. That is the good news. The bad news is that we formed a mini range here. We took the liquidity, and then we got some bearish dumpage, okay? And I would say this. I would really be looking at this as our sideways range. Let's go to the 15-minute time frame. All right. 15-minute time frame here. Let's just draw our box around our range. All right, we've got this right here. This white box is the sideways range. So really, we should be looking for longs below the bottom of the sideways range and shorts from above the top of the sideways range. And in about 1 hour, New York is going to open, and I think we're going to actually get more of a move. We're probably just going to chop around here for a little bit now until the New York Stock Exchange opens, and then we're going to see more action. We're going to see more action. All right. Man, now this is what we live for, guys. Volatility. This is what we like to see. Man, look at that. Big dirty perp coming in, giving us the herp. Then big juicy blue coming through. But then big dirty perp coming back. 2 minutes in a row. Now we got big juicy blue trying to make a comeback. Man, I love watching price action. Price action really does get me excited. New York is already open. No, it's not, you silly goose. Come on. Look, I'm in New York right now. I'm looking out my window. We are definitely not open. All right, look, I'm looking out my window right now, bro. Okay? We are definitely not open. Inflation was expected. Why are we even dumping? Well, people, for two reasons. Number one, people were hopeful that it was going to be lower than expected. Number two, CPI on the month, all right, core is as expected, but CPI in the month is higher than expected. So there is some bearishness here, right? It's not what people were hoping for. People were hoping for something like yesterday, right? Yesterday, the PPI came out and everyone was like, ha! We're expected 0.3, we got ourselves a good old 0.1, you know? And now everyone has high hopes for CPI, you know? Well, let's check it. So, yeah, but in general, it's pretty neutral. You're right. It's pretty neutral. So let's see what happens here as we approach New York Open. Shout out to USMC 0311 Goldie. Shout out to you, OSC 3OM 0201 Goldie. All right, let's check out the super chat. We got a super chat in the house. God bless. Oh, I already read it. USMC 30133 Goldie. God bless you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Dave B says, if America does a rate cut on inflation going up, then it will make things much worse. Yeah, yeah, that's what happens, sir. That's the name of the game, you know? That is the name of the game. Whenever you create a fiat currency that's not based on anything objectively valuable like gold or silver, then guess what? There's only one thing you can do. Inflate the currency. That's the only way it can keep the system afloat. Keynesian deficit spending economics. At least that's what I learned in economics class. So, yeah, the only thing they can do is make inflation worse. I mean, look at the dollar, you know? Go talk to your dad, right? My dad used to tell me stories. Jason, back in my day, I used to go down to the corner store with just a nickel. I used to come back with a pack of cigarettes, 2 buttered rolls, 2 cups of coffee, and I still had a little bit left over to get a candy bar. All right? Nowadays, I go down to the corner store with a nickel. Do they even make nickels anymore? You know what I'm saying? That's not normal, guys. It's not normal. Shout out to the Brecca. We need the Bitcoin standard. That would be good for us Bitcoin holders, honestly. The music is too loud. All right, well, let's lower it a little bit. How about that? Jason, ETH looking like it wants to explode, though, doesn't it? Let's check out ETH real quick, all right? While we're waiting for our Bitcoin long trade, we're up 20K, give or take. A little bit less, 19K. I'm hoping to, honestly, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm hoping to see if I can eke out 6 figures on this trade. I know it's a tall order. I know it's a tall order, but I'm going to see if I can, one last hurrah. Let's see if I can't make $100,000 on this trade. I know it's going to be 10. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it. We'll have to see. Everything would have to line up perfectly. All right. I'm obviously going to have to add to the position. And I'm going to have to do it in the right places at the right times. Let's see. I don't think I can do it. We'll have to see. All right. Let's check out Ethereum. You're a barista at Starbucks? I was a barista at Starbucks too, young kings. That's crazy, man. You're a barista at Starbucks. No way. So you know the difference between a cappuccino and a latte, and a macchiato and a latte. That's cool, man. That's what's up. You know about, an upside down Americano. That's cool, Yeah, I was a barista at Starbucks myself until I quit. I called my boss. I actually texted before my shift and told her. I was just honest. I said, look, I woke up this morning and I decided I would rather eat dog poop than come into work. And she said, does that mean you're quitting? And I said, yes. She said, that's not very professional. I said, I know, but honesty is the best policy. All right. And the only reason I quit that job, to be honest with you, is because I actually enjoyed that job very much. Because I got to talk to people. You know, I got to talk to people. I was a good salesman, man. I would sell. My boss would come to me. She said, "Jason, I'll buy you lunch if you could sell all these French presses." It was a Starbucks in a mall, so there were tons of people. I'd go out there, you know, I'd Jason Casper them a little bit, you know, convince them this French press is what they needed. Man, I had a good lunch, let me tell you. Some Chinese food. But anyway, the only reason I quit that job is because corporate made it so stressful on the manager. And she made it so stressful on us. It just sucked all the joy out of it. I said, you know what? Screw this, man. You know? I can't have a smiley face on my name tag because corporate don't like it. Man, you suck all the joy out of this. You know, it's like a pressure cooker, the corporate pressure cooker. I said, screw it, man. I'm starting my own business, and I did. I started my own business. That's the last job I had in 2013. I actually had my own business going, but I didn't hit the gas all the way with the business in 2013, because I'm like, man, I need money now, so I'm gonna get this job at Starbucks, right? So my business was on the back burner, and I said, you know what? Now it's time to go balls to the wall, baby. Balls to the wall with this business, you know? I'm glad I did. Man, I could have still been at Starbucks. Can you imagine that? This is before Bitcoin. It's before I was in Bitcoin. I could have still been at Starbucks. Oof. Whew. Man. So how did I get my capital? I told my boss I'd rather eat poop than come to work, and then I started my own business. That's honestly how I raised up capital. Also, I got Bitcoin when it was like $600. So I had like 50K that I had accumulated, me and my wife together over years. My wife also having a career. So yeah, I didn't make that money at Starbucks. Let's just put it that way. Let's check out Ethereum. Okay, ETH looks like it's about to explode. I have to say, yeah, look, I'm expecting a big push to the upside, okay? I'm expecting a big push to the upside. Here's why I'm expecting a big push to the upside. We have ourselves this multi-year trend line, okay? We have the fake out, but then we have the breakout, the back test, and the higher high. We're holding above. In addition to that, we are also holding above the value area high of this local range. Aha! We even got a break on a back test of that. We go to our 4-day time frame. Money flow about to cross the zero line after printing a bullish divergence. All right, the 4-day looks crazy on ETH right now. This right here, what's about to happen here, I believe could give us the next leg up, right? This is going to be the second leg of the move that was initiated by the monthly green dot, right? The monthly green dot. There's still plenty of room for that monthly green dot. Look at the 4-day. Once that money flow crosses after this bullish divergence here, that could be the big one that pushes us up to 5.5K, towards 8.5K, potentially 10K. I really think we can see that happen. But next week is a big week. Next week is a big week because of the FOMC. That's going to initiate, in my opinion, the volatility that will lead us to the next move. And hopefully the move is in our favor. But Ethereum looking juicy right now. Juicy's all get out. We got 44 minutes until New York opens. Make sure to smash the likes. Make sure to smash the likes. We got over 1,500 people. We have a corn moon, huh? Do we have a corn moon? Why does everything get confused with a latte? I don't know. Shout out to Felix H. Coffee's good over in the UK. All right. Starbucks, they do love the trans, non-carbon, binary emission, gender studies students, for sure, for sure. You're having a Starbucks pumpkin spice latte right now? Oh my goodness. Claudio says, stop talking, dude. Talk about ETH. Well, Claudio, I would say something smart to you, but you look like the kind of guy that would rip me in pieces. So I apologize for offending you. All right, let's see. Jay Wills quit his job for trading. You signed the resignation as Jay Crypto. That's what's up, man. Look, that's what's up. I love those kinds of success stories. You know what I'm saying? I love it, you know. Stick it to the man. Stick it to the man. Shout out to Pegless. Pegless says I can talk about what I want. You know, Pegless, you know, thanks for standing up for me, bro. What do I think about Russia saying U.S. is going to dump Bitcoin to cover debt? I don't know. I haven't been paying attention at all to the news. So look, I don't take any of that stuff seriously at all. All right? I just stay in my lane. And trade the charts. AVAX pushing out. What do I think will happen? Let's check out AVAX. Let's check out AVAX. AVAX. It is pushing out. Look at that, man. Okay, so AVAX making locally a higher high. So I'll be honest with you. I'm super bullish. I do hold quite a bit of AVAX. In my opinion, this is a very bullish chart. Okay? We take a look at all the volume, and we are above the point of control of the macro range. We have bullish divergence as we come down to the bottom. Then we make a higher high, and then we make a higher low right into the altcoin pocket, which is the zone between the 786 and the 886 fib. And now we're bouncing. Now we're even making another higher high. And as we came down into this area, we actually saw, guess what? Bullish divergence. Bullish divergence. This is the weekly time frame. Technically, we even saw a double drive of bullish div right here. So everything about this is bullish. Everything about this is bullish. We didn't form any bearish divergence here. We did a little bit here, but we're still maintaining the bullish structure. All right, we take this off log scale and look at the risk to reward potential here. You know, once we reclaim that value area high, I'd say it's rocket ship time, but you know, this is a really good risk to reward ratio, assuming previous all-time highs get hit. And actually, let's go to Binance. Yeah, it's a good risk to reward ratio. But look, we're at that value area high. Once we reclaim that, I think we could easily get a squeeze. We've got ourselves the descending channel here, which is a bullish pattern in and of itself. Once we break this trend line, it's going to be easy squeeze up to 103, and then it's just going to be, honestly, an easy squeeze of all this. So, yeah, that's what I think about AVAX. I'm a big fan. I hold quite a bit of AVAX, or as we call it, AVAX. We call it AVAX. AVAX. All right, Bitcoin getting a little bit of a move to the upside. We got a spammer named Rabin. Rabin, can you look at Pepe? Can you look at Pepe? Can you look at Pepe? Everyone is salesmen, so why not do that selling for own business? That's true. I was always a pretty good salesman. The name Pegless really means normal? I didn't know that. Huh. That's interesting. Was it bad news? It was neutral-ish news with a little bit of a bearish twist. I always miss market open these days, says Alan, because I have to bring my daughter to private school, no buses. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're putting your daughter in private school. All right? That's a great thing to do. Private schools where you know the teachers and you know the administration, or homeschool, right? Or a combination of the two. I mean, that's very, very important, you know? So, you're confused why I pulled that fib and not the macro fib, for Lucy. The reason why I pulled that fib is because that fib that goes to 114 to 115, it's confluence with a low volume node. A low volume node, and it's the old range value area low. And so for me, that's going to be a pretty key level. All right. But here we go. We're starting to get a move. New York's going to open in half an hour. I'm very excited for that. Samuel S., you've been here since December 2021. That's awesome, man. You've been here all that whole time. No way, man. That's a long time. This crypto market is so boring. Says, yeah, well, it is much more boring than it used to be. Let's be honest here, guys. I mean, it really is. This has been a boring crypto bull run, besides a few key highlights. This has not been like the previous bull runs. We really haven't seen that euphoria popping on in. You know? We haven't seen that euphoria popping on it. But those of us who have stuck it out, I do have to say this. This whole cycle, this bear bull cycle, although it hasn't been as good as previous ones, those of us who have been here and have really put in the work and stuck it out are reaping the benefits. Even though it's not what we expected, we're still reaping benefits, And that's what's really important, is that you're reaping the benefits, period. Like, a lot of people lost a lot of money last bull run, even in a bull run. So, man, I do have to say, like, and the market cycles compound on each other, because if you put in the work when times are tough, when times are good, you're really going to reap the rewards. You really are. So this next cycle, now that we've got, yeah, exactly, this is more of a healthy market, unfortunately. Bitcoin's the new S&P 500. It just goes up consistently over time. Maybe, we might see it turn into that, which does take away some of the mystique and the I don't even know how to say it, like that crypto culture. You guys know what I'm saying. That degen crypto culture that we had going on, of these insane gains. People like, you made that much money trading a dog coin? You're like, yeah, man. They're like, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. You're like, me neither. Is this even real? Is this even real? All right. Should we be preparing for dipping hard? I mean, I'm preparing for it. Shout out to Jason Castro. Hey, Jay, anything to write home on Filecoin? Thank you so much for the super chat. We will take a look at Filecoin. I do hold some File myself. I do hold some Filecoin myself. Did New York already open? No, we got about 35 minutes. We got about 35 minutes here before New York opens. Let's pop on over to the chart. Let's check out Filecoin. I haven't looked at it in a while, but last I looked, the chart looked really bullish. I mean, so here's the deal. Obviously, we're late in the cycle. We're late in the cycle for anything amazing to happen here on Phil. But here's something else. We're back here in January 2024. We were back in May, saying if we get a move above this level and a back test, that's going to be super bullish. All right. We're also saying that this is an accumulation zone, because within this zone, it gives us a 55-to-1 risk-reward ratio. You turn off log scale, and you can just see how crazy the risk-to-reward ratio was back then. Now, I mean, this thing, look, the risk-to-reward is absolutely insane here. Are we going to pump on this? I have no idea, but assuming we come down to a new all-time low, like $1.65, which from our current price is another 33% to the downside. This is a 270-to-1 risk-reward ratio, meaning you're risking $1, you're making $270. All right, you're risking 10, you're making 2,700. It's pretty wild, the potential for the gains here. And we're also seeing bullish divergence on the weekly forming here. The chart looks good technically. Now, the question is, what is this thing fundamentally? If I'm going to be honest with you guys, I have no idea. I really have no idea. I don't know. I don't know if the fundamentals are good. I don't know if the tokenomics are good. I don't know. But this is the kind of chart where I say, you know what, it looks so good, let me get some. And that's exactly what I did back in December 2023. If you guys remember, I went on that shopping spree, and basically what happened was I bought Filecoin right here because we broke the trend line. Now, it was good for a while. All right, it was good for a while. But like all relationships, we've had our ups and downs. But now we're back down at support. And, look, even back then, even in January, when I bought breaking the trend line, it was still a 51-to-1 to 1 risk reward ratio. I mean, it was still a good. Now it's just insane. So, and things don't look bearish here. Honestly, things look extremely bullish. We have the price getting lower. We have the weekly time frame, momentum getting higher, money flow getting higher. I mean, a chart could not look more bullish than this. It could not look more bullish than this. All right. But the question is, really, at the end of the day, is money going to come into Filecoin to cause this thing to move? That's really the question we need to ask ourselves. And here's, like I said, the way I look at it is this: if you can do your own research, which you always should whenever you're investing in Filecoin, if you think there's a reason that this thing could pump fundamentally, technically, it couldn't look any better than this. I mean, if this thing is going to pump, you are buying at the exact perfect spot. This is going to either be the most epic thing of your life, where you can look in hindsight and show people, wow, look, I bought the exact bottom. Now I'm rich, a millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire. Or you could say, yeah, you know, I put a little bit of money in here, it didn't work out. You know, I mean, honestly, let's say you put like $1,000 in here, right? Everything's relative. $1,000 could be a lot or a little. So you put $100, put $100 in here even, right? I mean, the amount of money you could make just putting $100 in here is amazing, you know? So, but where you lose $100, not a big deal. Like, you know, you find $100 on the ground, you know, it's awesome. But if you lost it, you're like, whatever. You could make 22 grand. You put $100 in here. If we hit all-time highs, you make $22,000. You know, that's a pretty good risk to reward. Pretty dang good risk to reward. Should we expect a dip to support, then pump on the next news? Yeah, so let's discuss like Bitcoin scenarios here. Because we know, technically speaking, that, you know, this here, let's be honest, it does look like we could give this all back. Let's just be honest here, right? It looks like we could give this all back. You know, we've been building liquidity below the lows. We lose this trend line, we could easily come down, make a new low, all right? We also understand that it's a zone of support that we had down here, and we could come down just a little bit lower. I would say that, you know, technically speaking, the sideways range would be something like this right now. All right, our support resistance flip. We're going to take it back to this, you know, this low that we made right down here. Okay, this could be a sideways range, which means if, let's say, nothing happens and we get some bearish news, we could give everything back and then get an epic fake out and then make our pump. And that would still actually be within the confines of, you know, an acceptable trading range. And if we did that, you know, we do have to understand, if that happened, it would even look even more bullish, because we would now be seeing not only hidden bullish divergences, but we would actually be seeing regular bullish divergences here as well on our daily time frame. Now, the issue now, and this is a real issue, is that it is September. It's 500 days after the halving, which historically has been the all-time high for Bitcoin. Historically speaking, about 500 days after the halving, it's the all-time high. So time is really running out if we're going to continue the 4-year cycle. So there's two options here. If we don't see something happen soon, either the top really is in and we're going to go on an extended like downtrend for a while before we see more upside. Option number 2 is that the 4-year cycle is actually broken because of all the institutional money coming in via ETFs. And, you know, obviously there's way more money in Bitcoin now than there was last cycle. You know, the market cap, total crypto market cap, is just a little bit higher now than it was back here, but pretty much all that money is in Bitcoin. I mean, you know, all the altcoins are the same price, or lower. Even they're worth less, a lot less in general than they were here, and so all that money is mostly in Bitcoin here. So, yeah, maybe the 4-year cycle is broken. Maybe it's going to change, right? We did have something unusual this 4-year cycle, which happened right here. All right. Happened right here. And it happened right here, which was this. Every single time historically, the Bitcoin price hit a high and entered into a bear market. Every single time, we would get a big rejection from the Fibonacci golden pocket. Let's put on that 618 here. We would reject from the 618 and we would make a double bottom. So basically what would happen is we would form a base during the bull market, right? That base would be the resistance in the bear market, all right? You can go back and look at the chart. This happened every single time. From the high to the low, what would happen is we would get this bear market rally. We would break key resistance, and then we would reject from the 618 and back test that key resistance, and then pump, and our new all-time high, and this would happen around the time of the halving, and then after the halving, we would make a new all-time high. All right, now the halving happened around April 2024, right around here. Okay, so this time, the big difference was we came to the 618. It was actually the news of the launch of the ETF that gave us that final push to the 618. And instead of coming all the way down to our support, we only got a 20% move to the downside, took the lows of the range, and then came back inside and broke out. And then we made a new all-time high before the halving. First ever in history that this pattern here didn't do the normal. So the normal would have been we come to the 618, and this gives us, you know, a bit more of a rejection. That's where we bounce, and that's where we pump, and then we hit that new all-time high after the halving. So there are some things about this 4-year cycle that is different, and I'm not going to ignore those things and say that they're not here, but they are realities, and the other reality is the reason why this happened is because of the ETF, right? We had the launch of the ETF, which was the buy the rumors, sell the news event, which if you're watching my channel at the time, I was expecting history to repeat. I did short this. I did make good money on this too, by the way. I mean, it's a 20% move. I mean, you know, it's a 22% move. I made good money on this trade. Obviously, I booked a take profit one at the bottom of this local range here. But, you know, I was expecting more, right? I was expecting us to come back down to test the low 30s. I was expecting us to basically take all this liquidity. You know, that would have been a perfect move, right? Like, wreck all these guys that traded the breakout back in October 2023. But, yeah, that didn't happen. So now, here we are, 500 days after the halving, which historically has been the high. Are we going to see a change? You know, a super cycle of sorts? Or not a super cycle, but just a change, right? As Bitcoin starts to trade more like a traditional asset, now that people are taking it more seriously, you know? I'm not saying we're not going to have a bear market. I'm just saying the pattern that has been here for the past 12 years or so, I guess more than that now. Sheesh. Man, we're old, guys. We're all old. Might change. Make sure to smash the likes. Do we have an egg code for this stream? Let me see. Let me see if we can get an egg code. Let's see. All right, Bitcoin shopping. And we have about 24 minutes until New York Open. Bitcoin shopping. If multiple 9/11 events happen today, what? It's going to dump more today, maybe. Maybe. What do I think about the weekly bear div? Well, it looks bearish, right? Bear divs look bearish. Shout out to Scripps Haman. Thank you for the value add day in and day out. Respect. Well, God bless you, man. May the Lord bless you. I gotta plug in. This laptop's about to die. This laptop is about to die. Hang on. In 2020, I remember those days when Bitcoin dumped 20K to 30K in one day on China bans news. Yeah, that was wild. Those were good times, honestly. Yeah, Bitcoin taking a little bit more of a dump here. Let's take a look here. You're trying to order weed on Silk Road at $500 a Bitcoin. That's crazy. Are the news bullish for crypto? They're pretty neutral with a hint of bearish. It was the green market on 9/11. Was it really? Oh, today is 9/11. Oh crap! I didn't realize that. Didn't even realize today was 9/11. That's crazy, man. Wow. What do you know? Actually, I'm curious. What did happen on 9/11? Let's check out the S&P. What did happen that day? We got to go back far, guys. Not that far. Here we go. Right around the summer. There we go. September 1st. Let's go to a lower time frame there. Got to go to the daily. We got a long ways to go. Yeah, it wasn't actually that bad. It wasn't actually that bad. The actual day of September. Oh wait, sorry, that was the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Actually, wow, it was a complete. Did the stock market close that day? Was there, like, there probably was an emergency stock market closed. Let's be honest. Yeah, so it's just a blue nothing, and then for the next few days, massive dump, and then, wow, look at that. Big old dump. And then, what do you know? The war in Iraq starts. Boom! How does that happen? But, interesting. Oh man, Bitcoin dumping. Oh my goodness, Bitcoin. Oh. All right, don't worry, guys. Don't worry. Let's go ahead and pull some Fibonacci's here anyway. Let's go ahead and pull some local fibs. Wow, we already rejected from that value area high to the dang dollar. Let's pull this. Yeah, I'd be interested in coming down towards this zone, taking out the low. Let's put on Market Cipher once again. We could have some bull divs there. Man, that CDW, I'm telling you. The pump song? You want to sing the pump song now? Shout out to Preparing for War. We pump every 9/11. That's interesting. Shout out to Future Profit, who says, how do you know what your risk to reward is when you're opening a trade? Thanks in advance. You have to do your analysis in advance. All right. So like, you should know before you take a trade. You should be planning for that trade in advance. So, you know, for example, whenever I plan for a trade, and if you're in the Casper crew, we walk through it step by step with every trading plan. We know exactly what we're risking. We know our position size. We know everything. All right? You make the plan. You trade the plan. And look at that. You know what you're risking and you know what your profit's going to be, right? Make the plan in advance. You're saying, I'm looking to long this support. I'm expecting a bounce from this level. You know, if we come lower than such and such, then yeah, it's a loss. But I'm expecting the bounce from here, so this is how much I'm going to risk. Then you can calculate your position size. We come down to your level. If we see the confirmation, you can take the trade. Then lock in the profits, man. You know, look at that. Look at that. JasonCasperTrading.com, where every single day we got 3 instructors walking you through our live trading plans. All right. Also, guys, make sure to check out KCEX for the lowest fees in the world, BLOFIN for juicy rewards, and WEEX. Also, if you don't have money but you know how to trade, check out Klein Funding, crypto prop firm. 25% discounts in the description for those funded accounts. You get a $200,000 account for about less than $500. Less than $500. New York's about to open in about 15 minutes, guys. Bitcoin making a lower low before New York open. Let's see. New York loves to give us the old 1-2 punch. The old 1-2 punch. So let's see what they're going to do. Let's check out the order flow while we're waiting. All right, so it's interesting. We've got some orders down here. 58 million. Wow, look at the increase of OI here. We had first we had a whole bunch of longs opening up. This is the 1 minute time frame. Then we had a whole bunch of shorts opening up. So wow, that is crazy, man. We had a bunch of longs opening up here in that CDW. Whew, trapped at the top. Man, that's crazy. Let's check out our net longs, net shorts. Because this is interesting here. Oof, longs are totally wrecked. Pretty much everybody who's longed this last move up here is out. And right now, primarily shorts have opened since the loss of VWAP. So a lot of people shorted the backtest of the VWAP here. So let's kind of watch and wait and see. We've got 15 minutes until New York opens. Again, down below this box is our area of interest. Got ourselves our Fibonacci golden pocket. Let's go ahead and pull it. We've got ourselves the support resistance flip down there. We would be hoping for a bounce from that area. Imagine if New York sends it back down to 111. That would be wild. Did I short 114.5? Nah, I didn't short 114.5. I hope those shorts get eaten up. Yeah, for sure. The news was not bad, though. That's crazy. Well, it wasn't what people were expecting, right? And it was a little bit more bearish than expecting. Did we break out of an inverse head and shoulder on the daily? Yeah, I'd say so. With that break of market structure, the move above 113. Yeah. I'd say that's a nice break. But it's been a very slow move. It hasn't been, it hasn't been the best. So either we chop city and then pump next week, or we dump and then pump from 105-ish. Those are like the two scenarios I could see for a bullish move on the corn. The news was bullish. It was like neutral. Like, look, so they were core CPI was as expected. CPI on the month 0.1% higher than expected, all right? And then on the year as expected. So it's neutral slash a little bit bearish. Unemployment's higher than expected. So it's neutral slash bearish. You know, it's not like yesterday's PPI news that was super bullish. That was bullish news. Shout out to Sophia and Nikki. What's up, Sophia and Nikki? God bless you. Shout out to Vladimir. And shout out to Sophia and Nikki. Bears eating today, exit now. This market is go, man. Good news, no pump, bad news, dump, whatever, LOL. I mean, look, you can't trade markets based on news. News events just act as catalysts for the moves to happen, all right? Right now, the chart is this. Higher time frames definitely still look more bullish than bearish to me. Therefore, I'm maintaining my bullish plans, all right? That's it. That is what it is. People are saying they can't withdraw from KCEX. I mean, I haven't had an issue withdrawing from KCEX. The only thing about it is, like when you deposit money, it like takes time. I don't know. I like the exchange. I haven't had any issues with it. I don't know anybody who's had issues with it either. I have a support channel in my own Discord with a support team dedicated to the community. So alrighty. Well, we got 10 minutes till New York. I'm very excited to see what happens. We do have some potential bullish divs forming on our 12-minute time frame. We do have some potential bullish div, not bullish div, but trigger wave forming on our 1-hour time frame. 24-minute time frame. That's looking pretty crappy actually. But maybe we see a hidden bull div on the 24. We'll have to see. Like right now, we're holding the value area low of the range for Bitcoin. KCEX treating you better than MEXC. Do not long. Do not long. This cycle is annoying and weird. If you've been heavy into alts and held your Bitcoin, you're crushing it. Oh yeah, it's been weird. It's been too heavy into alts. Yeah. ETH could pump at New York Open. Yeah, let's see what happens, Mikey. Yeah, look, I'm very thankful that just intuitively I've always been heavy into the Bitcoin. I never trust these altcoins. I'm an old school Bitcoin kind of guy, you know. But most of my portfolio is always Bitcoin. But I'm not gonna lie, I do have quite a bit of money in alts as well. And I'm really hoping for the pump, because I got real life stuff I want to do, you know. But if it doesn't happen, it's not the Lord's will, right? Hopium Copium's convinced we're coming down. Yeah, let's see what happens here. This is either the place where I'm going to get to add to a juicy long or lose everything, right? The alt season index says we're in alt season right now. I know. What is the playlist? I don't even know. Something on Epidemic Sound royalty free, you know, so I don't get struck with those copyrights, which was getting pretty intense, those copyrights, I'll be honest with you. They were getting pretty intense. All right, we are going to stick around and watch New York Open, guys. We are going to stick around and watch New York Open for sure. All right? Stick around and watch New York Open. What is the... Yeah, the playlist is... Yeah, just some stuff on Epidemic Sounds. You missed the Rocky days. Man, we could do the Rocky music. Shout out to Yowzer Donkey Source who says, "What's the playlist? There is no playlist." Yeah. Man, maybe we'll get to do a pump song when New York opens, and maybe we'll do the Rocky song. You know, the Rocky music. Let's see. Maybe we'll get to do the Rocky music. I hope we pump on New York Open and do a pump and dump. Can you imagine if we take the high again? I would short it. I would short it. I would short it. Can we have a look at DOT? So here's the thing with DOT. I think the chart does look objectively bullish. The problem with DOT that I hear from my trusted sources is that, aka Divine Hood, shout out to Divine Hood, is that because of the tokenomics here, because the way that they increase the supply, even if the market cap came back to what it was up here, the token itself couldn't reach that price because the market cap would be spread out over more individual tokens. But the chart itself looks extremely bullish. Multiple drivable div, money flow getting higher in the weekly. At key support, risk to reward 64 to 1. Absolutely beautiful. Polkadot looks good on the chart. The question is it good fundamentally? Sammy Cup and Handy says Bitcoin's definitely coming back to 200 MA on the 1 hour time frame. The 200 moving average on the hourly. Let's see what that is. You know, I haven't used moving averages in so long. Oh wow, okay, so that's going to be around 111.6. That's intense. Let's pull an anchored VWAP. Ooh, yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, I mean that would be intense. All right, we've got the anchored VWAP. I'm more of an anchored VWAP kind of guy. Let's pull the fib from that last swing low there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we got the fib, golden pocket coming in there as well. And let's go ahead and just pull the volume here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's it's gonna be pretty key right there. That is gonna be pretty key right there. That is yeah, around 111. All right, so yeah, we New York dumps us. I'm gonna be interested actually in maybe adding to a position there, to be honest with you. Adding to a position there. We got 5 minutes until New York opens. All right. We got massive amounts of confluence down at 111.3 to 111.4. It's like a zone. It's like 111 to 111.5. It's like a $500 zone right there. What's the code to get eggs today? Okay, the code to get eggs, guys, is CPI. All right, so if you're in the Casper crew, either in the free or paid Discord, what you can do is come into the Discord, all right? And there's a channel in here called Quests under Egg Rewards. All right, under Egg Rewards, Quests. And if you click the claim button right here, type in the code CPI, all right, CPI, and you can get eggs. And these eggs are redeemable for prizes. All right, check out the egg announcement here. Basically, eggs are the path to winning giveaways. All right, you get rewards and prizes, cash giveaways, free VIP. All right, The way you get eggs is by completing these quests that happen during the live streams, on Twitter posts, and within the Discord itself. All right, Twitter engagement, video live streams. Now here's the thing, if you're non-VIP, you can get 1 egg per quest. If you're a VIP, you can get 5 or even up to 10 eggs per quest. All right, you get eggs for participating in the games every month in the VIP Discord. We do games where we give away thousands of dollars, and we're also going to be doing stuff in the non-VIP as well now. Basically, you add value to the community, you get value back. All right, you get the JC tag on your Discord name, get 10 eggs a month. If you're in the VIP, you get 50 eggs a month. All right, stack eggs in your basket, more eggs, more chances to win weekly and monthly giveaways. So right now, to get some eggs, first you got to join the Discord, either the VIP at jasoncaspertrading.com or the free Discord link in the description. Go to the quests channel and click claim. Claim, Cardano? Okay, New York's going to open in 2 minutes. Shout out to Splashfire Films in the chat. We're going to pump or we're going to dump. Dot is actually fixing the inflation. Okay, cool. I don't know. Reptilians, reptrillions. I like that. That's funny. Yeah, shout out to Heisenberg. What's up, Heisenberg? In the chat. The anchor VWAP on the daily from 74 is just under 105. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I thought we bounced from that too, which is one of the reasons why I took a long trade. But apparently now we front ran that, depending on what time frame you look. All right, 1 minute into New York Open. Are we laying eggs? We're laying eggs, man. I love eggs. I eat so many eggs every single day. I'm so thankful for my hens. My hens, those my beautiful hens. They are beautiful. All right, so we're looking for maybe upon New York Open, either, you know, ideally we'd have a pump and dump. I would love a pump and dump here on New York Open. Let's mark out our key levels. All right, New York is officially open for business. Let's go down to our 1 minute time frame, see what she wants to do. What's New York gonna do? Come on. What's the market maker gonna do? Hang on. Let's see. I don't have it now, do I? I don't have it. That's crazy. I don't have Tino's indicator? Is it still called the Trader's Reality, or is it different now? Let's see. All right. Come on. Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen. What's New York gonna do? Look at the vector candle on the 1 minute. We're here to bring the fire. Oh, man. Wow. Wow, look at that. We had a big vector candle on the 1 minute. Recovered it. Let's go to the 15 minute. Yeah, let's take the high. Let's recover that 15-minute vector candle. All right. Take that London high, or that pre-New York Open high, to say the least. Come on, look at this. Look at the market maker with the vector candles to the downside. We've got a little bit of a bullish divergence on the 15-minute, ladies and gentlemen. Even on the 12-minute, a little bit of divergence coming to the Brinks box. Let's see. Yeah, let's recover those vectors. Let's go to the 1 hour. Look at that. Look at that. Man, that is nuts. Wow, look at this, though. Oof! Speaking of coming back down to the box, look at all those 1 hour vector candles right here. You know, fast move up, fast move down, right to our box. We come down, just recover all those vectors literally right into our box. So, oh my goodness. Oh wait. I thought this gray thing was a candle. It's not. Okay. This is the 1 hour. Let's go to the 5 minute. All right, what's New York gonna do? Come on, New York. We're gonna get a pump and dump. We're gonna recover the vectors. Man, my Tino accent today is just not the best. You know? Did I ever end up collaborating with Tino? I did. We recorded like a long podcast, but it never went live, you know? He was probably too embarrassed to have me on his channel. I mean, after all, I am a pretty embarrassing fellow. You know what I mean? But, fast in, fast out. Shout out to Yowza. Doinkosaurus. Fast in, fast out. That's the key. Alright? Smooth move up, smooth move. That's right. That is right. Smooth move. Alright, so look. New York has opened. Shout out to Tino, but I need to turn this off because it's just too much for me. Alright? We've got the key levels on the chart. It's all we really need. The old chatte. Alright. SUI. Let's check out SUI. Before we do that, let's just get some alerts. Set. It's doing the same as Bitcoin. Nothing to write home about on SUI. Is there any dope ETF today? I don't think so. Shout out to an 8K Bitcoin. Man, looks like nothing too much right now. You know, we're just gonna have to wait and see. Either for a move up or for a move down, really. Come on, Bitcoin, give us something. How do I feel about Mamba FX? Never heard of Mamba FX. I thought you were talking about a coin, but I guess you give the pronoun he, so I don't know. Not sure. Bitcoin to $8. Solana to new all-time highs. ETH to 5K. Yeah, let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Man, this is a wee bit boring here, is it not, guys? Is this not a wee bit boring? WBB? A WBB, a WBB, a wee bit boring. Yeah, it's, we've got a little bit of blue, a little bit of purple coming in, just like my attire here. Got a blue hat. And we got a purple shirt. Man, this is boring. Alright. Pump song could work today. I just don't know if I'm feeling a pump song right now, guys. You know, I have to really feel it in my soul. The pump song is not something I take lightly, you know? It is not something I take lightly. It is serious business. The pump song is serious business. A Bugatti Gondo? What's a Bugatti Gondo? Shout out to Around Town 27. Shout out to Daniel De Jesus Draw and Chill. You found my stream yesterday and it was super cool. Well, God bless you, Daniel. I'm glad to see you here, man. Bullets on parade. Stochastic RSI, is it good or is it a lag indicator? Yeah, it's good. You know, it's good. All indicators are good. You know, all indicators are good. And all indicators are bad. Indicators are the icing on the cake. The smash up the likes cake. You know? Yeah, gotta get that cardio in, honestly. The cardio. I'm telling you guys. The cardio. You gotta get it in. Uh-oh, starting to get a dump now. If you're a trader, you need to get a walking desk. Alright? You need to get a walking desk. It will change everything. It's so effortless to just slowly walk all day long. You know, the body was meant for slow, constant motion. You know, you're going to feel good, you're going to look good, you're going to be jacked, you're going to be shredded, you're going to have abs. You know, it's going to be good. Shout out to MEXC. God bless you in Jesus' name. We pump now, says Mitch. I hope so. Cardioano. Shout out to Orhan. Cardioano. Look at the 8-day stochastic on BTC. All right, let's check out the 8-day stochastic on BTC. The 8-day, huh? I hope it's going to be good, Splashfire Films. Oh crap, I don't want to do that. I'm going to keep all these things on, but I'll put them in a folder here. All right, the 8-day stochastic. It's pretty oversold there. It looks like it's about to cross to the upside. The last time we had an 8-day stochastic RSI cross was in April. Man, that's juicy. That is juicy. Wow. That is pretty juicy. Pretty oversold. It's looking like a bottom is near for sure. I like that 8-day stochastic RSI. Splashfire Films. That was you, right? Splashfire Films? Yeah. Yeah. That's nice. I like it. Are the days of 1,000 X's gone? No. Lock in. Get yourself some Adderall. Drink a black coffee. Cocaine is one call away. You have no excuses, says the BBL doctor. So funny. What kind of treadmill do I have? I have an LSRZ Sport treadmill. At the time, it was cheap on Amazon. All right? I don't even know if they still sell it on Amazon. I couldn't find it last time. I bought like 5 of them. I'm on my last one. New York's going to do the new Nobody Expects and wreck the Bears. I hope so. How's Money Market? I like Market Monkey. Market Monkey. All right, let's see what's happening here. We're gonna go down once again to a 12-minute. The 12-minute stochastic RSI looks good too. We got the 12-minute stochastics. Looking good. All right, let's see. Let's put back on good old MCB here. All right, man, we are getting a little bit of move to the upside. Let's see if we can't come up into our next white box of hope and wonder. What's my favorite vegetable? Well, are we talking actual vegetables or fruits that people call vegetables? Because I have to say, if butternut squash is a vegetable, that's my favorite vegetable. If potatoes are vegetables, squash and potatoes, and also summer squash like zucchinis and stuff, those are my favorite vegetables that are not actually vegetables. If we're talking real vegetables, I'd have to say arugula, and broccoli. Arugula, broccoli, alfalfa. That's right, just alfalfa grass, the sprouts, good stuff. You know, do you consider a carrot a vegetable? I like carrots. Why would you ask about my favorite vegetable? Where's Hopium Copium, says Stan Cout. He's around. He's waiting. He's waiting for the big move down. I know. I need to order more backup treadmills. Mitch says we're pumping to 120. I hope so, Mitch. I mean, Spaghetti squash. I do like spaghetti squash. Can I show my stochastic RSI settings? I mean, they're literally stock. I just opened that thing up for the first time, I think. Yeah, spaghetti squash I like. I grow, pretty much like the only squashes I grow are spaghetti squash, butternut squash, and summer squash. That's pretty much it. I love butternut squash. They're so easy to grow. They're so easy to store. My wife makes the best butternut squash soup ever. They're easy to, you just chop them up, throw them in freezer safe bags, and throw them in the chest freezer. They can stay good all winter. They can stay good on the counter for months. And they're good for you. Knight says, if you eat less than primary, I don't know what that means. You must continue to move. If you eat only primary, you can practice one of the greatest disciplines, sitting still. Well, I'm definitely not meant for sitting still. All right? I'm definitely not meant for it. When I was a kid, I had an issue. Couldn't sit still. You know? I could never sit still. I'm always fidgeting, moving, always, 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 always. And I like to be active, and I like to fuel my activity. So I don't know what it means to eat primary. I'll have to look into it. When I hear primary, I think of primary colors. Red, blue, and yellow. You can only eat blueberries, sweet corn, and strawberries and tomatoes. And then you can sit still. I never look at Solana. I do look at Solana, but what else is there to really say about Solana? It looks bullish. We're waiting for a move. Let's check it out now. Wow, look at the last. Solana almost came back up to the high here. We're potentially Bitcoin making a lower high. Let's see. Do we come to the Fibonacci golden pocket? Yeah, look at that. Yeah, so, yeah, this could be it. This could be the end. This could be the end. Man, my treadmill just stopped. What about that? What about that? Yeah, let's take a look at Sol here. Squash bugs ruined your garden. Yeah, so they ruin my garden too every single year. Right? So here's the trick. Here's the trick with the squash bugs. Don't start your squash inside in a greenhouse, in a pot. Just direct sow everything. All right? Wait until, like, I don't know what your growing season is, but wait until way past the last frost. Way past. All right? I usually don't plant my squash until the middle of June. All right? Early June, let's say. And I don't do anything to it. I don't weed. I don't get rid of the squash bugs. But here's the thing: by the time the squash bugs have time to destroy the plant, the fruit is ripe. All right. And actually, the squash bugs, in my opinion, they help, because then the whole vine dies, and all that's left is the ripe squash. And you just pick that, and it's good to go. You know. So I have had issues with squash bugs, but the way I deal with it is I just let the bugs do their thing, but you got to plant it so that by the time they have a chance to do their thing, the fruit's already ripe. So, like, if you have your starter plant, right, and your starter plant's out there in the garden, I feel like it gives the squash plants more time to do their thing. You know what I'm saying? Squash bugs aren't even going to know about your squash until it's too late for them. In other words, does that make sense? Probably doesn't. Solana technical target, if we're going to do the bull flag, $666. Right now, we've got this sideways range. We took the low with a hidden bullish divergence. Looks really nice. Change the market structure. Break back in. Back test as support. Now we're breaking out of resistance again. It looks really good. It looks really good. It looks like we're going to hit a new all-time high. 381 would be our first target. Next target, 550. Third target, 666. All right? The number of the beast, which is the number of a man. So yeah, I think Sol looks great. You know, it looks great. If we go to the monthly, we've got the confirmed green dot. We go to the 2-week. We still got plenty of room to the upside. We go to the weekly. Money flow getting higher. Still room to the upside here. Looks like we want to take out the high. Let's check out BTC. We still rejecting from the GP. Come on, 12-minute green dot. Let's check out our 24-minute. Come on, 24-minute. Can we get a green dot on Market Cipher? Oh, look at that. As soon as I said it. Man, I love when the price action listens to me. Have I sold my spot bag? Yeah, I'm mostly out of spot Bitcoin right now. I'm mostly out of spot Bitcoin. So I'm 80% out. And I don't know if I'm going to sell anymore if we pump higher. I don't know. I really don't know. I've already made my Bitcoin money this cycle. I'm really looking to sell altcoins at new all-time highs. But yeah, I'm primarily out of Bitcoin. When I say I'm out of Bitcoin, you have to understand, I hold a lot of Bitcoin. But the Bitcoin I was planning to sell, I'm 80% out of. And the rest is going to my forever hodl portfolio. So I have way more Bitcoin now than I had in 2022. But of the Bitcoin that I specifically was planning to sell, I'm 80% out, okay? Altcoins I was planning to sell, I'm 100% in, which is not what I was expecting right now, but it is what it is. You know? Yeah, arugula, that's good. That is good. Do I think we'll see a big move today? I'm not sure, right? But I definitely think next week we're going to see a big move in one direction. But how much do I weigh? I weigh around 200 pounds. It always fluctuates. I'll go down to 190. I'll go up to 210, to be honest. I fluctuate like 20-pound fluctuations. I think it's because I don't weigh myself the same time every day. Because I can actually gain quite a bit of weight in a day. Like, I could wake up and be 193 and go to bed and be like 217. I'm not even kidding. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, I could gain over 20 pounds in just a day of like drinking like 2.5, 3 gallons of water and eating, 700-800 carbs. So it's weird. So yeah, somewhere around 200. What's my favorite meat? Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe like filet mignon. I love filet mignon. I mean, in general, mostly I just eat ground beef and chicken. That's pretty much it. And sometimes salmon. But it's harder to get quality salmon. But for us, we have like a local farm. We get our chicken or beef. Would I ever borrow against my forever hodl Bitcoins? No, I never would. I'm very conservative. Like, I used to be super liberal. When I first got into Bitcoin, I threw everything I had into it. Took a big risk. But now I'm very conservative with my risk. I would never, ever. And I have no need to either. Like, that's another thing. Like, I have no need to. There's no reason for me to get greedy and do something stupid. All right? There's no reason for me to get greedy and do something stupid. I have no reason to do that right now. I mean, technically speaking, I'm retired. I don't have to work ever again, in order to survive. But like, yes, I would never do that. And if I was in a situation where I needed money, I would still never do that. All right, I would still never do that. But I would still never do that. Of course, when I say I don't have to work again, I understand nothing's secure in this world. Money's not secure. Crypto's not secure. Your health isn't secure. Nothing in life is secure. The only thing that's secure is God and Jesus. your relationship with the Lord through Jesus. That's the only thing that's secure. So I understand that anything could happen where tomorrow, you know, all this stuff that I have could either be gone or I could be gone, right? So I don't put my security in these things. I'm just saying, for me personally, like as far as planning for the future, assuming, you know, society's not going to collapse, assuming the dollar's not going to hyperinflate tomorrow, and assuming, you know, things are going to continue on kind of normal for the foreseeable future, you know, assuming things go on as normal, I technically don't have to work. I just like what I do, honestly. Do I use cold storage wallets? You just got a Trezor? That's great. Trezors are good. Those are good. Those are good. Why wouldn't I borrow against my HODL portfolio? Because it's risky. It's risky. It's too risky. At this point in my life, I don't want to take on that kind of risk. You know, I'm in my mid-30s now. When I was in my 20s, I had no kids, and I had very few responsibilities, all right? You know, the only responsibility I had in my 20s was to, I don't know, go to the gym and hang out with my wife. That's pretty much it. You know, nowadays I got kids, I got a wife, I got a lot of stuff that I'm managing. And you never want to take on risk like that. You know, you don't want to put yourself in a position where you could imagine if something bad happened and I borrowed against my spot Bitcoin, my forever HODL Bitcoin, which is part of my retirement plan, essentially. What if I lost all that? Man, what a stupid move. You know, and same for everybody. Honestly, you're better off if you have Bitcoin. You're better off just holding your dang Bitcoin. You're better off just holding your Bitcoin. And don't try and do anything stupid with it. Leverage trading, that's where you can get stupid with it. Leverage trading technically is borrowing against your Bitcoin, but you could do it in a very controlled way, right? Leverage trading, your risk is very controlled, you know? Worst case scenario, leverage trading, you get liquidated. And if you're using good risk management, and if you are on Jason Casper's YouTube channel, and you've taken his 18-part course, you know about risk management, right? Make sure to go check out this video. All right? Check it out. Then, you know, you're really, really controlling your risk here, as opposed to, people say leverage is more risky than spot. I mean, I feel like spot is more risky than leverage, because if things go wrong on spot, there's no end to the loss. There's no end. It just keeps going down. And if you're borrowing against that, now you're technically, it's like a mix of spot and leverage, right? You get liquidated. You could get liquidated, basically. You could owe debt now if things don't go your way. Oof, that just sounds so stressful to me. Sounds so stressful to me. GHPL thinks I'm sick mentally. Well, maybe I am, you know? Maybe I am sick mentally. Like, I'll be honest with you. I'm definitely not normal in the sense where I've never really fit in with people. You know? I've never really fit in with people. So, I don't know what the context is of me being mentally sick. What makes me mentally sick? I haven't read that far back in the chat. On leverage, your $100 is worth $10,000. Well, just be careful. Leverage is not either. Yeah, I mean, look, if you're doing it wrong, if you're gambling with leverage, then yeah, it's either massive loss or massive gain. But if you are doing it the right way, then it's just normal losses, normal gains in a controlled environment. Yeah, David Rumblebull feels the same way. Why not trade on my DEX on Antarctic? I need to trade on Antarctic. I love Antarctic. I need the mobile app to be out, which is going to be out very soon. Because I do take most of my trades from mobile. I'm only actually trade here if I'm streaming like VIP or whatever. What do I think about VMC Cipher? Look, I think it's if it's all you got, it can work, but obviously it's not as good as the real market cipher because the money flow is messed up, you know? Don't listen to the internet, Jay. Well, look, I'm not going to deny the fact that I'm pretty not normal, okay? I'm not going to deny the fact that I'm pretty not normal. Looks like we're going to go for that high here. Let's see if we hit into the golden pocket. Yeah, we hit right into it. Look at that. Not quite on Bybit, though. Let's check out Market Cipher B. All right, again, let's see what happens here. We reclaim the golden pocket, and it's Pump City. This is a very key level because if we reject from around here, then around this golden pocket, then we could get quite a bit more of a move to the downside. The 1 hour, honestly, money flow looks good. 24-minute. You know, it looks pretty like some pretty bare divs. Looks like we could get a move to the down here. You know, we'll have to wait and see. First sign of weakness would be a loss of 14,444, and then we would shoot for the bottom of the range, and then we would shoot down to around 111.5. We do have some 12-minute bear div. Let's check out the 6. We've got some 6-minute bear div as well. This is a pretty make it or break it level. This zone right here. This is our Fibonacci golden pocket. So let's see what happens. It always is nice when resistance acts as resistance, right? Look at that, man. Look at that. Isn't that nice when the box of resistance gives you a little bit of resistance? So let's see now. Let's watch and see what's going to happen here. Shout out to Bullish on Parade. God bless you, man. Shout out to Chart Champions. Go Helper the Bear says, LMAO Google, this is so true. What's good, Jay Natty, son? Chilling out, man, you know? Feeling super natty right now. The trades are juicy, but your boy is natty. The trades are juicy, but your boy is natty. Mad CBD dibs on the 1 hour. Let's check out the 1 hour here. This is the 5 minute. The 1 hour? I don't really use the 1 hour to trade here, to be honest. Let's put on our normal candles here. We got, you talking about bullish? Let's see here. I don't see bullish CBD here on the 1 hour. I don't see bearish CBD. I see a little bit of lack of participation here. You know, I see the price making higher highs on a decrease of open interest, which is not strong. But I wouldn't consider that a divergence. I would just consider that lack of participation. Shout out to Nihilist UK. Shout out to Dave Digital holding it down with the plunger. Shout out to Alex O. Stocks are ripping. Huh, that's interesting. Stocks are ripping. Jay, please read your questions during live stream. That's for VIP live streams. If you have a question during a public live stream, you can ask it here. All right? You can ask it here. All right, let's pop back over to Market Cipher. Let's go to our 1 minute, take a little look-see. Alrighty, so we'll pull our fib. I'd say if we do continue down, we'd be looking down first just to potentially make a higher low. But then we would be looking down towards the bottom of our range, around 113. And then if we continue down, yeah, we're looking down towards the golden pocket around 111.5 with the anchored VWAP, the golden pocket, the POC of the range, and all those good juicy details. What did I just do? There we go. I don't know what I did there. Let's see what's going to happen here. We got the VWAP. Let's just assume we hit the VWAP. You know, assuming we hit that VWAP, that's going to be literally a 7-to-1 risk reward. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that quite crazy? That is quite crazy. Let's see if we get moved down to the VWAP. Shout out to my man, the BBL Doctor. Even in the Pico lows, you kept the vibes high. Keep producing content. The world loves it. Well, God bless you, bro. God bless. Thanks for chilling. Thanks for stopping on by. There's bearish divergence in my beer cooler. Interesting. Man, You will never take a trade even if you... Will you ever take a trade even if you do not see CBD? Yeah, I always take trades based not on CBD. The VWAP right now is coming in at about 114. 114. You know. Let's see. That's just a golden pocket rejection. Nothing too crazy. It's not super, super bearish. All right, let's see. We're coming down towards yonder. That VWAP, let's see. And let's check out the order flow. There's our VWAP there. Let's go down to the 1 minute, see what's happening. Just a little bit of a decrease of OI, nothing too crazy, nothing too significant. But wow, we have a lot of longs at the top. Woof, man, we have a lot of longs at the top there. Man, we could get a move. We could get a move, honestly. We could get a move from here, from around this area. That's crazy. Let's see. Let's see. That'd be crazy if we... Yeah, I mean, VWAP right around 114,000. Copium is shorting the pump song now. Well, look, there's nothing too bearish yet, honestly. Nothing too bearish yet. How to read where the longs are. Oh, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to come over and you're going to look at your open interest here. When the open interest gets higher, with the CBD getting higher, you can see 87.9 million positive delta. That means there's 87.9 million longs at this high. That's what that means. $87.9 million longs in this candle up here. $50K next bear market? I don't think so, to be honest with you. I do not think so, to be honest with you. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't think 50K. It's going to surprise everybody. It's too round of a number. Is the ES ripping? Let's check out the ES. ES is ripping right now on the 2-minute time frame. Let's see. Look at that. Let's go to the 5-second on the ES. Oof. Pump City, baby. Pump City. That is called Market Monkey for the CBD. Market Monkey. It's a good site. It's a good site. Bitcoin flipping that single print from resistance into support. So let's see what happens. All right. Let's see. Man, can you guys believe we've been streaming for 2 hours? I can't believe that. That is nuts. I think I'm going to call it a stream here, guys. God bless everybody in Jesus' name. May the Lord bless you. And Lord willing, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.